Today we're going to talk about height maps. Height maps is one of the maps that goes to PBR materials for terrain paint. But the height map that I'm going to show you is it comes to making a height map and the way it's basically baked. Because the way a height map works is basically what is white is the highest point, and what is dark is what is generated as the lowest point. Now, you may be saying, well, there's a lot of little points and spikes, and yeah, they'll be on your level too. So, I guess when you think about height maps, you think about your terrain, it's less about very up close stuff and more about like the overall thing. But this was just one quick one that I rendered. Um, Now I got the material set up to render height maps. I shared this a while back, but I'm going to share this Blender file so you have it set up ready to go. And um, so let's make a new one. This is just a mesh plane. Is all it is. It's a mesh plane that I modified. So let's go to the typical view here, the layout, and let's get rid of the camera and let's make a mesh plane. Now this is the map, your level for BeamNG, your terrain. Right now it's flat. So to make this something different, I'm going to go to the edit mode. I'm going to subdivide this 100 times, and then I'm going to subdivide that, and then I'm going to subdivide that. Now your system may not be happy with that many subdivisions, possibly. Now I'm going to go back to object mode. I'm going to shade this smooth. Now to sculpt mode. So keeping in mind what's farther to the ground will be darker. Say we paint a rut. This will be how it looks on your map. It'll be a rut. If you make a hill, well, that'll be a hill. I like using the Blender Kit add-on because it comes with a lot of brushes, but you don't need it to do this. You can make your own brush, but just to give you an idea like what this brush can do, we'll get this human iris here, and still downloading, I think. This one didn't work right for some reason. I'm not sure. Let's find another. Yeah, see, I don't see anything. Let's get this one. I like little meteor strikes. The ones with the locks here are the paid ones that they want you to buy. This is an interesting one. This one uses a stencil where you hold shift and push your right mouse button to make it grow or shrink. And then you just hold the right mouse button to move it around. But like what this will do, it'll make like this. And let's see here. Let us, yeah, I don't know. This looks kind of, that wavy hair. Nah, let's do, rock. I'll put some rock on that side and maybe some skin on this side. Alright, now we're going to go back to object mode. Now to bake this terrain, you need to create a camera. I'll look from a top-down view, straight up and down, and I'll add a camera. Camera. Now see it's looking below the ground, so I'm going to hit G on the keyboard, then Z to move it up. Now that's the way it's facing. Over in the camera settings, change the type to orthographic. Now this is how close or far away the orthographic scale is, but you'll need to be in camera mode to see what it's actually going to render. So if you want this to be rendering this entire map, you need to be zoomed up to it, like so. Then you have to have the shader applied to the material, which was that material that I showed you a minute ago, but you can go into here to the material and actually pick it like this. Make sure that's the right one. No, it's not. That's the wrong one, man. It is material. So going back to our camera view, you can see how this is going to render this perfect height map. Black be the valleys and the whites are the high points. Now, what size map do you want? Well, this is where you got an option. You can render the thing here as 2048 by 2048, a 4096 by 4096. That's the size of Italy. Small island would be 1024. No, sorry. Small island would be 2048 by 2048, and I'm not sure which maps are 1024, but I'm sure there's some. Since the terrain painter, PBR terrain paint, since they use 2048 by 2048 for most of the maps, this is usually what I'll bake the terrain to. But in this case, we'll do 4096 by 4096. And you're going to be rendering a single image, black and white. See here, black and white. I believe you can do 16-bit color for black and white for terrains. I think so. You don't want any compression. You actually don't want any noise if you can get away with it. So now we just render. Actually, you need to render an image, not the whole. Just render image. Alright, that's your terrain map. Yeah, I see there's a little thing here, but it's alright. Image save as. Just for the time being, let me just stick it on the desktop. I'll just call it terrain for now. It'll be a PNG. You don't want, yeah, it'll be a PNG. Now, let me show you how to make it a terrain for small grid, because see, small grid don't have a terrain, so let me show you on that level. We first need to go to another level that's already made. I say this one. In the root folder of your level, you'll see the terrain heightmap.png. I'm showing you this because you're going to copy this to your clipboard, and then your one you just saved. Where is it? There it is. We're going to rename ours to this. Now, let's load small grid. Because if you haven't, you don't have it in your user folder yet. But you could have made a user folder, but I'll just let the game do it. That's the easiest way to explain it. Alright, F11. Go up here to save level. Now what that just did is created a user folder, and I'll take you to the default user folder, which is what mine's set up as. This is it. This is the default location for the user folder. This is where mods go, this is where levels go, this is where mods, vehicles go, if you're making vehicles. That's where this stuff goes. We're going to go to levels, and you'll see a small grid folder that the game just created. And you're like, there's nothing in it. Well, it only saves what you did to the level. The main level and all of its content is actually in the install folder in the Steam library. This is just stuff you do to change or add to it. So we'll paste that file from the desktop. Well, we gotta move it in there, I reckon. Where is the, hold on a second. Desktop. There we go. We'll just copy it into here, or move it into here. Now, we should only have to go up here to terrain tools, and this will probably be at the top up here. I moved mine down here, but go to import terrain, and terrain height map. I'm sorry, height map image is that image you just put in there. See the terrain height map. If it is not gray, it is not grayscale. I mean, if it is not red, it is not grayscale. So we open. Now, do we want it to be 1-to-1 squared, or we want the squares to be a little smaller to make terrain paints a little smaller? Or do we want it 4096 4096? Shit, I'm gonna make it smaller, 0.5. Max height, I'll leave that at 50, and import. Now, somewhere here in the, yep, there's our terrain. Now I know that's not nice to look at, so let's go to our terrain painter. Terrain library. Test. We'll use this test. This is the grid map, grid thing here. So never delete warning material until you have added another material. Then when you delete warning material, it'll update your material. Now, you see how this is tiled, this texture. Since I made this 4096 by 4096, but I said be 0.5 instead of 1, it would actually be 2048 by 2048 to fill this. Now, same thing with the macro. If you want the macro to be, if you want the entire image to take up the entire screen, that would also be 2048 by 2048. But that's going to look pretty bad. Detail. Oh, that's the distance. You dumbass. Distance. See, now this image is forced to stretch over this entire plot of land. But you wouldn't want to do that. You'd want this to probably be you'd want this tiled. So 16. No, not distance. You did it again. Damn it. There we go. All right, let's go to, let's see. Let's pick our terrain and move it up. And now let's go to max height and change this to 200. And we'll change the base texture size to 4096. And let's go zoom out, see what we get. That's too high. Let's do, oh, that's 2000, no wonder. Oh, let's do 500. There we go, that'll work. So, as you can see, this is the map that we just created a height map for. This is a regular terrain block that you can drive on. Just to show you a couple things you can do. So you want that thing to be the size of Italy, that's no problem. You just change the grid size. In the terrain tools here, change the square size to 1, and then it'll be actually 4096 by 4096. Size of Italy's map. I mean, you can make the damn thing crazy large, you know, if you wanted to. View distance, info, maximum view distance now will be 25,000. And I'll take the fog off. So you can see since the thing's larger, it needs to also be a lot taller. Now you got yourself a big map here. And flying as fast as you can fly, move rather, you know, holding down the shift and the fly this direction key. Clearly you can see why people do use fog. That's a big old map. thing's like a moon size. Get something with a little more bounce to it. I'm giving it gas. You don't want to go. Them wheels will never be the same again. It'd be a hell of a damn map for snow skiing. Like one of the ultimate downhill slopes. Oh yeah, ain't no coming back from that. Yep. Big old map. Yeah, this would be awesome for like snow skiing. But anyways, I think that's it. Uh, I'm gonna share this file with this image. But you've seen how I did everything. Just make sure when you render, you're rendering, you're in camera view and not, over here or something. But it still may. I guess it don't matter if you're over here because it's still going to render what the camera shows.